When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Twins got to get this game in.
I think it stopped raining. At least they were doing some pregame stuff there, and they posted the lineups and everything, so I think we're okay.
Bollinger just tweeted a photo of the field. It doesn't look like it's still raining.
I saw Lavelle tweeted that it stopped raining, but there was a lot of water running up and down the streets, but that's okay.
Yeah.
The Twins have played 11 games.
Yes, at least in baseball by at least 2.
No, Kansas City's played 13. I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
They've only played 11.
Yes.
I can't find anybody else that's played that few.
Yep. They played the fewest, and I believe there's probably a couple with 18. They might be 7 shy of some of these.
Colorado's played 18.
18, so they played 7 fewer games. That's a burden. That's a burden to deal with later in the summer.
The Nationals have played 17.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's played 16. Houston's played 17. The Angels have played 16.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's played 15.
Even Boston, they played a few of them in unbelievable weather.
11 games.
Yeah, they played 11 games.
God almighty.
And I saw today, in fact, it's going to be one of the things we bring up today. On April 17th, 1979, Nolan Ryan shut out the Twins in their home opener.
Really?
April 17th, 1979.
April 17th was the home opener.
Home opener. They played 9 on the West Coast. They played...
that's today, the 17th.
Yes, that's why I brought it up. They played at Oakland. They played at Oakland, Anaheim, and Seattle, 3-game series. They came home 7-2. Mm-hmm. Then they had to face Nolan Ryan. That didn't work out so well. But they came home 7-2 and had 37,000 people at Met Stadium.
You'd be hard-pressed to open today at home.
They'd play today.
They've got the field cleared?
Just because they could get the snow off there, they would have figured. If they had to, they would have had it cleared, yes. Mm-hmm. They might have had to
bring in one of those jets?
Reinforcements. I don't know what they would have done, but the biggest problem, probably more so than getting it off the field, is getting it out of the stands, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting the nooks and crannies because you can't have people, slipping.
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah,
I think the way they get rid of the snow in the stands is they hose hot water on it.
Okay,
where do it go?
Well, the field drains very well,
but it runs down the steps. Hopefully, but what if it freezes?
Yeah, lawsuits.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't want.
Yeah, that's a logistical nightmare.
We don't want lawsuits. By the way, you mentioned Miami, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
The other night, when they were home, because they got rid of their whole team. Jeter and his partner came in and they got rid of the whole team, and this plan has been unearthed. That Jeter was promising them that if they cut payroll, they would still draw as well as they did. They had a 3-game series that drew under 20,000 total paid.
Wow.
And they also drew fewer people than their Jacksonville Farm Club did one night.
What is Jeter's role?
He's running it.
Does he have a fiscal stake?
Yeah, he put some money in it. He put some money in it. I'm not sure that the other guy put most of it in it. Because I
thought it was some art collector owned him.
No, he sold it. Loria. He got out pretty good. He $1.1 billion or something for a lousy franchise. You get the stadium with that, though, too. You get like 1.15.
That the city paid for.
damn near totally. But they're dying. By the way, baseball attendance, because of the weather and other issues, they'll never come close to what they drew last year. No. They're already so far in the hole. Last night, I was looking at some of the crowds. Most of them under 10. Even in towns Seattle had 9,000 people, and they got a roof. So
why are people staying away?
I think that it
too
doesn't
early?
feel like baseball.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Marlins. Did you catch Levitard at all last night on your drive?
No, I did not.
So Dan's based out of Miami. It's the show that we run here at nights. He
pays little attention to baseball, but when he does, it's generally somewhat critical.
So apparently the new ownership group, because they were discussing this at length when I was driving home last night, and Marlins man, who is now turned his back on the franchise because he doesn't like the direction, and he tried to pay or try to get a discount or whatever. So there's a very bad divorce happening between Marlins man, their famous fan, and the franchise.
Who is Marlins fan?
He's
Crazy
the guy
George?
in the World Series that you would see in the orange shirt, Joe, behind home plate when you were watching the World Series. So
he's the world's only Marlins fan.
He's like Detroit Dan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, he discovered that the new ownership group claims that their address is not in the United States.
Oh, I heard this.
To avoid paying a certain type of tax.
It's in the Virgin Islands. It's a postal drop in the Virgin Islands.
Postal
I missed
box.
this one.
Yeah, it's a postal box in the Virgin Islands.
Well, this New York hustler that his partner is probably done that with a few of his businesses.
Oh, I'm sure
he's
he has.
a Wall Street guy.
Yeah, so he's avoiding.
So what has MLB responded to this?
So this was Levitard's main point of this entire conversation was, you gotta be kidding me. Marlins man and some columnist from Miami are the ones that broke this story and went to the post office box in the Virgin Islands saying there ain't no office here. So MLB has yet to
Levitard?
comment.
Dan Levitard and Stugotz.
He's on our station at 7:00 at night, several days a week.
Well, I missed
But he
him.
does a show 10 to 1 our time. That's the best sports talk radio show in America. It's hysterical.
It's fantastic.
Based where?
Miami.
Okay.
But he does 4 hours. The first hour is Miami only. The next 3 is national. So.
He's
But it's great.
phenomenal.
Is he ESPN syndicated?
Yes, he's our guy.
Okay.
He's our guy.
He's our guy.
fantastic. Yeah, he's there.
Well,
it's funny.
now I got to listen to him.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
That's pretty entertaining.
Well, they can't. They know how to. They never tell you what's coming up next. That's their secret.
Who?
Levitard show. They don't worry with all those bumps and
Teases, you mean?
teases. They don't worry about teases. They just stop talking and come back. That's basically, and then they might still be talking about what they stopped talking about before or something. It's fantastic. The timing is impeccable. Unfortunately, I have no ability to follow that timing.
Timing is everything.
Yes, his timing's great. He was a longtime Miami Herald columnist. I don't think he writes anymore. He did write for a long time.
Is old Pope dead?
Eddie Pope died. Yeah. It's And,
All right. I didn't think I'd get the chance to play it during this hour, but last year, Tim Kirkshin joins Patrick Joe every other week during the baseball season.
Right.
He's
tomorrow, in fact.
He is a weekly contributor to the Levitard show.
All right.
And Levitard's only point is to try to throw Timmy off his game, to try to get him to giggle. So hey, how about the Cubs, man? There's something else. And then he'll throw a complete 180 question in his direction just simply to try to get him to laugh. Go ahead, Rook.
The line with whatever the questions are for Tim Kirkshin about baseball or life at 786-456-4837.
Are you going to plug back in next week? Like, how long are we going to do this with you unplugged, not using the computers, the phones, anything?
I like it. You
do?
Yeah, it's been a nice week. I've had a lot of fun. I don't know if the show's any good, but I've enjoyed it.
Cool. Can we at least plug in the call screen?
Yeah, that.
No,
that.
I don't really want to do that either. I've just liked to be. I've so little negative energy in my life. Like I'm telling you, these social medias, they have so much poison, so many unhappy people. Social medias is what I said. Yes, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. Is that a fine?
No,
social
it's
media.
Plural of social media.
Oh, okay.
When we get the Tim joke here.
I thought we got to right away.
Meet us in the middle here, man.
Using a word wrong, I'm not going to pay a fine for that.
But I've told you, like, it's toxic, man, especially Twitter. It really is. It's a bad
All right, I tell you
place
what.
to be.
I thought it got to right away.
No, you didn't.
We'll pause it, and we'll get it when we get back. How's that sound?
Well,
But that guy, the other voice is his Gracie Allen.
oh,
She's
Stugatz.
Stugatz. So it's his foof.
all right.
Okay. It's being reported widely here and now confirmed. Zach Parise has a broken sternum and will not play the next 2 months. Suffered it late in one of his last
Who's
shifts,
breaking this?
Apparently. It's out there. I think the Wild announced it.
Really?
Yep.
Well, see you later,
Russo
boys.
had it. Sarah McClellan had it. I'm sure the Pioneer Press.
It's one of your more powerful injuries, the recovery. And if you don't want it to hurt, you lie flat on your back on the floor.
Where's
for
the sternum?
For 6 weeks. That's what holds the ribs together, Joe. It's your breastbone, right
Oh,
down
for
the
Pete's
middle.
sake.
Yep. It's an incredibly
That's the one they
painful.
cut into if they're going to give you that open heart.
I think they went through John's to get to his heart. Yep. Unless they broke ribs.
Okay. Well,
I hope I live long enough where they just point a laser at you and make that happen. Just go.
Technology, huh?
you mean to put you to death or what?
No,
Right.
the
You're
heart thing.
done. Zap. Then Pat could declare people dead. You are dead.
Yes, and then I might be right. Hey, by the way, how about our Ruski friends? See what they did now?
Yeah,
Threw the guy out the window, the fifth floor investigative reporter.
Yep.
But the investigators are saying, well, it doesn't look like foul play.
I think he's okay.
You know, there's a
Young,
name for that.
vibrant-looking guy.
Fenestration.
Which is what?
Look up fenestration. See if or
Urban Dictionary?
defenestration.
I prefer
It's the
that.
act of throwing somebody out a window.
Deep fenestration.
Yeah.
I think I saw that one.
Defenestration, the action of throwing someone or something out of a window.
Yep, that's a word.
Well, the someone,
do you know why?
someone is a little more serious than the something.
Yeah.
The informal definition is the action of dismissing someone from a position of power or authority.
Well, they dismissed this guy.
Defenestration.
Thank
The
you.
word for the French word for window is fenêtre.
Really?
So defenêtre, like defenestration, would have to do with out the window.
I see.
I ain't taking language lessons from you, pal.
Je suis désolé, monsieur. Je suis très intelligent.
Hey, Sally, what are you doing on your phone?
I am looking to keep, since I'm the only one looking for Parise news, I'm checking on
That
it.
did not occur to the staff to go to the Google, did it?
Mr. President, we offered up the word defenestration.
Fractured sternum suffered in Game 3 late in the game. Apparently.
That hurts.
Yes. Yes.
I was trying to finish my my tration, but I did not defenestration. But I could finish.
Did you ever come up with the Levitard thing after putting people through 90 seconds, or do we give up on that?
Well, we thought, due to the fact that this breaking news was going to happen, that
okay, but I guess our comment is
Number
It's
one,
called up.
Patrick. Number one, because they don't tease doesn't mean you can't tease. You have to tease. You're in a position where you have to tease. Number two,
I'd like to just start going zap.
nobody under the age of 80 knows who Gracie Allen is.
I know. And I keep trying to think of the better one to use, the dumb sidekick, but I
Ed
don't think
McMahon.
Bud Abbott.
Yeah, it's still too old.
Yeah.
Bubba Booey.
No.
Yeah, you got to have, well, the best one I can think of is Terry Train.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Fame sidekick.
Yes, Terry Train. That's the one I use.
Anybody else?
But I don't want
Anybody else you can think of that might, I don't know, be
Yeah, but
sidekick
you're
for a
kind
while?
of the intellectual equal of the host, so.
Well, that's
you
a
gotta
rip.
have-
Why am I getting
No,
ripped?
that's a compliment. Thank you,
Why am I
Patrick.
getting ripped?
Patrick, thank you
You
very
gotta
much.
have. See, that's why. That's the trouble with my show. We got a stooge, but it's the host.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
true.
gotta have the guy. You gotta have the play off of.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
You should be the stooge.
Yeah, that's
As a matter
what
of fact,
Yatesy did that with. He made Soul Man into his guy. you know?
Actually, we're all just a bunch of stooges when you think about it.
Well, anyway. What a kick in the groinal area that is for the local team, though. Wow. Because he'd been just playing like gangbusters. That last goal, that goal he had to put him on front the other night, was a masterpiece between him and Koivu. He basically just stood next to the guy in front of the net and made himself about 8 inches of separation at the last second, and Koivu hit him in the stick, and boom.
Who will dress in his place? Do we know?
They said Tyler Ennis.
Oh, he's been waiting to get in.
Well, yeah.
Nice way to get in.
And there's a reason he's been waiting to get in. He's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
But
do you think it's festive right now on the old Boulevard of Broken Dreams down there?
Yeah, well, it's the Boulevard of Broken Dreams right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
I'm sure they haven't got word yet, have they?
Probably not.
There's no way you come back
ago.
from that in time to finish this season.
Not unless you go to the Cup Finals.
No,
I don't even think he'll be done by then.
That's Patrick. That's a serious
So
injury.
how the hell did he do it?
Sounds like somebody got him on a stick.
I watched the game. I can't remember him getting thumped.
They said it was the last second of the last play, the last shift he was on. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Well, it's a kick, that's for sure.
And the Timberwolves don't play
until
tomorrow night.
Oh, so they get to rest one more day, one day more, huh?
Yes. The NBA's in no hurry to get through that first round.
I don't understand it,
But Kenny, here's a good one with the NHL playoffs.
Yeah.
2 games tomorrow night are on the Golf Channel.
What?
The Golf Channel. Apparently,
NBC owns it.
Apparently, USA Network wouldn't preempt Suits, a rerun of Suits for us, because Prince Harry's babe is on it, so they're probably getting good ratings because everybody wants to see whatever her name is, Miss Markle.
All right. I queued it up amid all the circumstances in the room.
Okay.
Here's a little snippet of Kirkshin with the boys.
Whereas in basketball, LeBron, Kevin Durant, they're always great. Every night they play, they dominate the game in one form or another. But baseball, it doesn't work that way.
Does Ken Rosenthal look like the treasurer of a small town's historical society frustrated with the extravagance of the festival committee?
We used to cover the Orioles together, he and I, a long time ago. They called us the Twin Towers. It was right about the time Lajuan and Sampson were together, so we were the Twin Towers.
He's taller than you, though, right? Rosenthal's a little taller than you?
I don't think so. I think we're about the same.
Oh, really?
I think we're both. It's pretty bad. I think we're both about little under 5'5" now.
His best one, though, was
I've really been missing something with that.
Oh, pipe down. The best one was, you guys remember John Fox, the old Bears coach?
Yeah.
He had always the unshaven look, and he asked Timmy if John Fox looked like an out-of-work police sergeant with an affinity for really cheap whiskey, which I thought was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Anyway.
All right, thank you very much for that. That's Lois Petard. What's his name?
What?
John Petard?
What? Dan Lebetard.
Ben?
Dan Lebetard. With Stugatz.
For $1 million.
Yeah, that's a bit. You're putting on
For $1 million.
Oh, my God. That's a bit.
Who is Suka?
My God, please tell me it's a bit, Such.
Sports Talk will be back shortly.
Please tell me.
Oh, you know him. He's the smart one.
Okay. But now, thanks to our good friends in Owatonna, Minnesota, at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal, and Your Money Now.
And some strong quarterly results from major companies helped push stocks higher for a second day in a row and move the Dow Jones Industrial Average back into positive territory for the year. The Dow gained 213 points, closing at 24,786. The Nasdaq Composite rose 124 points, and the S&P 500 gained 28. One of those companies with strong earnings reports was Minnetonka-based United Health Group. The nation's largest insurer reported an almost 31% increase in profit in its latest quarter and increased its earnings outlook for the full year. Revenue was up 13% during the period, and United Health Group shares gained 3.5% today. Here is just what you do not want to hear if you've waited until the very last minute to file your tax returns. The Internal Revenue Service says some of its computer systems are experiencing technical difficulties. The IRS didn't specify the extent or the cause of the outage, but said taxpayers should keep trying to file their returns as usual. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, thank you very much, Bruce. We'll let you go and check traffic here. This report sponsored by Wendy's, and we'll go up to westbound 694, where things are all jammed up, running nose to tail. You're burning the binders there from 35W over to the Mississippi. Plan for a 15-minute drive. Eastbound 36, also pretty bad. 35W to 35E, a 20-minute bump and hump. Those two delays courtesy earlier snow removal crews. If you're traveling between the downtowns, westbound 94 at 18, eastbound between 15. Some deals are so good, like the 2 for $6 deal at participating Wendy's locations. Choose 2 Wendy's favorites, including Dave's Single.
Here's John Haidt.
Thank you, Joe. It's sunny and 41 degrees. World party, right? Wild will play Winnipeg again tonight at the Xcel Energy Center in playoff hockey. The Jets lead the best of 7 series 2-1. And as we just found out, Zach Parise, he's out with a broken sternum. Apparently it happened on the last or second to last shift of Game 3. The Wild's press release about this is calling him week to week.
Really? Which usually is day to day, but yeah. 3:06 p.m. it hit the Twitter accounts of the local hockey writers. So
out 3:06 p.m. today.
Yeah, just 24 minutes ago.
John, when they cracked your chest, which route did they take?
They went through the sternum. They cracked open the sternum. Okay. And my sternum is now tied together. When I have x-rays taken, you can see the things that are
tied. Those things that come with a loaf of bread, those little ties?
Yeah, the little twist ties.
Twisties?
Yeah.
They're saving them up for months.
It's better than having them go through your neck, through the back. Or go through the throat to get to the back. That's the bad part.
How do they do these?
Mm-hmm.
What are these implements?
What are these doctors?
Mm-hmm. Twins will play the Indians in San Juan, Puerto Rico tonight and tomorrow night. Jake Odorizzi for the Twins tonight. Corey Kluber for Cleveland. Here is your Twins lineup to face the 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
It's the regulars, Johnny.
It is. It's a straight lineup. Dozier, Mauer, Sano, Rosario, Morrison DHing, Escobar, Kepler, Buxton, and Castro. It has quit raining. There are some isolated thunder showers in the forecast for tonight. 60% chance of rain all day tomorrow.
That isn't that big of an island,
It must be flat.
From Eddie Rosario's home is on the south end, and San Juan's on the north end, and it's only like an hour and 10 minutes away or something. So.
That congressman from Georgia, Joe, would probably think this would flip over too, right?
Flip over, you get enough rain.
Yeah.
Hank Johnson.
Oh, Johnson?
Yeah.
Too many people. And enough
Guam. Guam might flip over. There's too many people on it.
Johnny,
like a pontoon?
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
U.S. Senator.
Yeah. After your surgery,
I prefer the Washington D.C. councilman who thinks the Rothschilds and the Jews control the weather.
Yeah, he got a growing kick.
Oh, that's power.
Yeah,
that is power,
man.
News notes from today. Senator Tina Smith is calling on federal transportation officials to review the performance of Sun Country Airlines after it stranded those passengers in Mexico over the weekend. The Egan-based company canceled flights back to the Twin Cities because of the snow that grounded planes in the Twin Cities, and they have no more scheduled flights to or from Mexico for the season. Sun Country says it did not have another plane to send to Mexico, and that meant passengers had to find their own way home. In a letter to the U.S. Department of Transportation, Senator Smith said it's troublesome to see a domestic carrier abandoning its passengers in a foreign country, forcing them to find their own way home and to incur further expense of time and money.
Amy must have said, Tina, you write this letter. You need it worse than I do. If you're going to run for re-election, you need it worse than I do. I'm fine.
The Sun Country's Facebook page still taking some hits. My favorite is one calling the airline the best one-way airline in the world.
They, by the way, today they announced that they're going to reimburse people more than the price of their ticket. I didn't see exactly what, but I saw Hauser had on Twitter that they've said they're going to reimburse people beyond just the price of the ticket to get home.
Too late.
And when I chatted with my friend that works at the airport about this, he deferred all questions to he said, you should probably talk to a Sun Country employee or spokesman, and I just let it stay there.
Meanwhile, update on that Southwest Airlines thing that happened today. An emergency landing made in Philadelphia with part of the plane's covering from its left engine ripped off and a window damaged. The chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board said one person is dead after that apparent engine failure. Passenger Marty Martinez told a local TV station that a woman was injured and taken off the plane. It was unclear if the woman was the person who the chairman said had died. Martinez told the TV station there was blood everywhere. Later, Philadelphia Fire Department Commissioner Adam Thiel said that one person was taken to the hospital in critical condition. He said that 7 other passengers were treated for minor injuries. None had to be taken to the hospital. According to witnesses on the plane, a woman was sucked out the window that broke and had to be pulled back in by several of the passengers.
What seat was she sitting in?
That I don't know.
Window seat right above the wing.
You're going to have to find out.
Probably it was an A seat because it was on the.
Let's go to break until John gets that news. We'll be right back.
No, he won't.
But those windows, your whole body, a small child could go out, unfortunately, but a woman would not be able to fit out.
There'll be some damage. That's probably why she's dead, Rook. That would be my guess.
Got it.
2 people are dead after what police are calling homicides in rural Perham, Minnesota. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office said deputies responded to a residence at 5:17 this morning on a reported assault. Sheriff's Office said when deputies got there, 2 deceased victims were discovered at the scene. Suspect was located, taken into custody. The names of the victims and the suspect have not been
Perham?
released.
That stuff doesn't happen in Perham.
Well, plus, who's fighting at 5 a.m.?
Did you guys hear the story about over in Wisconsin where the dad shot his teenage son?
Yes.
That's very upsetting. And that also happened in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Adult film star Stephanie Clifford, who uses the name Stormy Daniels, revealed a composite sketch of the man she said threatened her and her daughter 7 years ago.
Virtually every male in America is now being put out on a Twitter. This looks like him,
Tom Brady is very nervous.
Yes, right.
She believes the threat was connected to her alleged affair with President Trump. Rook gave it away, the drawing. If you've seen it. Looks like Tom Brady with a little longer hair.
Right.
So, Starbucks Corporation.
We knew he was a cheater.
Starbucks Corporation will close 8,000 company-owned U.S. cafes for the afternoon on May 29th to train nearly 175,000 employees on how to prevent racial discrimination in its stores.
They won't have to because the rapture occurs April 23rd.
Oh, so
there won't be any world here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starbucks said it would
make your oil change.
Is that next week?
Monday.
Yeah. Starbucks said it would make
plans.
I wouldn't cancel them.
He's grilling in his underwear at the farm.
Starbucks said it would make training materials available to the employees of those stores. The announcement from the world's biggest coffee company comes as it tries to cool tensions after the arrest of 2 black men at one of its Philadelphia cafes last week sparked accusations of racial profiling.
What did we do? We just threw them out because they were loitering, or what? What was the deal?
We're not entirely clear, Pat. They didn't order anything, and they wanted to use the can, and it turns out they were waiting for a guy, and next thing you know, they're in handcuffs, and they're let out of the building.
Problem is, the video that was shown only shows when the police had arrived and is escorting them out. So we don't know what the attitudes of the management and the guys were prior to that.
We also learned yesterday that Joe has not 1 but 2 secret routes when he's on the road and has to use the can.
I got places in mind.
Yeah.
Which you mean number 1 or 2?
I got them both covered.
Because you're a man. So number 1 is
number one's not a problem.
One's not a problem.
Right.
2 shouldn't be a problem.
I got 2 nailed.
Never leave anywhere if it's a possibility.
Do you
That's
have
my theory.
Do you have a Mr. That's actually a good theory.
That's right. Never leave with the attitude, I think I can make it home.
No, usually that means I gambled and I lost.
That is a theory I live my life by.
Someone go get the duct tape.
But just in case one sneaks up on you, Joe, I advise you get yourself a Mr. Chair to put in the trunk. A camp stool with a toilet seat.
You know the hallway out here with the one-holer?
Yeah.
You know, when I'm going out that way, I can't tell you the number of times I've gotten to that door and said,
the thing with Mr. Chair.
Just to be on the safe side.
Where's the meter at?
It might be traffic, you know. It might be traffic.
Suits the great. With a guy one time, he puts out on one, starts climbing these steep stairs to number 2. He stops halfway up and he goes, "Nope, damn it! I gambled and I lost."
Oh God! The thing with Mr. Chair though, Such, is you got to watch for a splash bag.
I don't need your chair, Kenny.
Sometimes
Chair.
the back of your ankles get a little
like the one
change the topic.
Is it like the one you train little kids on?
Yeah, well, it's a little taller, but there's
guys.
Picture. Dang it! I got to change my socks.
Start talking.
But you still make the same face like this. I don't care how old you are. You're still kind of.
It's one of deep concentration.
What started all this again? Oh, the Starbucks started.
Yes.
Texas.
I got a route.
Krabby Coffee Shop, not a problem, right?
No restrooms there for the public. Beat it. Get out of here, you loser.
Hell no, the Krabby.
The alley out back, loser.
Texas Biomedical Research Institute officials are making changes to their enclosure after 4 baboons briefly escaped from the facility this weekend.
I love baboons, man.
These are smart animals. The baboons rolled a 55-gallon barrel upright near a wall to their open-air enclosure.
They're
geniuses.
They climbed it and got out.
Yeah.
The enclosure,
smarter than most people.
The enclosure was built nearly 40 years ago. 3 baboons were recovered within 30 minutes. The 4th one they thought had remained on the loose, but after completing a head count of all the animals, determined it had returned to the enclosure all by itself. Wow.
Geniuses.
Before we move along here, Patrick, you just told us, you had a little note there, Byron Buxton's been scratched from the game, right? He has a migraine headache.
And it's raining in a deluge right now.
Any word on replacements?
Robbie Grossman to right and Max Kepler to center.
I was going to ask Chris to look that up for me. He's very busy eating pistachios right now. So.
You guys are addicted to pistachios.
Oh, I love pistachios.
I do too, yeah. Sort of a sports note here. You'll see this video probably if you get online. A trained bear helped start a soccer game in Russia when it was handed a ball to pass along to the official. A video of all this happening at a third-tier Russian professional football league soccer match in Pyatigorsk shows the muzzled bear being led out in front of the crowd. The bear stands on its hind legs, is handed the soccer ball by its handler. The animal then passes the ball to a waiting referee. This is not going over well, obviously, with animal welfare groups.
Do we have those in Russia?
They got them in Commie Land?
Apparently.
Don't create too much hell. They'll throw you off a 5th-floor balcony.
Well, actually, the 2 quotes I have are from English, people from Great Britain. Who they say, in addition to being inhumane and utterly out of touch, using a bear as a captive servant to deliver a football is downright dangerous.
The bear have a little red hat on?
No, it was not clothed at all.
Didn't have the neck thing, the rainbow neck
you
thing.
Think the bear was upset that they gave him a ball to
No,
play
he was
with?
going to get a nice meal out of the deal.
Right? Nice meal out of the deal. Georgia collector, that's the state of Georgia, who bought a stash of retro Nintendo games at a flea market, got a surprise when he discovered 2 of the cartridges were filled with packages of drugs. Julian Turner of Newman, Georgia.
So the nerd turned him in, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Julian Turner of Newnan, Georgia, posted a video to YouTube showing him examining his day's flea market haul, which included multiple Nintendo Entertainment System games from the 1980s.
Just the state of Georgia or the country of Georgia?
It would be the state.
State,
yes. In fact,
just get to the drugs. What kind of drugs were in it?
In fact, that's how I opened the story, Joe, so there'd be no confusion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Said that.
Turner opened the 2 cartridges, discovered they contained small packages of what appeared to be narcotics. The Newnan Police Department opened an investigation into the discovery, and detectives said the packages appear to have been inside the cartridges for a very long time before they ended up on the market. Turner said he was researching his unusual discovery and found out another copy of a game purchased by a collector a few years ago had $5,000 cash.
I would have rather had the cash.
What kind of weenie would have called the cops? Just throw them away.
Yes, right there.
Or use them, one or the other.
Yeah.
I have a serious question. There's no punchline coming here. The lady, and bear with me, the lady that went out or got wedged in the window, was she wearing a seatbelt? I'm wondering if you keep your seatbelt on in flight, will that prevent that sort of thing from happening?
You would think so.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I want confirmation, yes or no. I need to know this because
Well, it would be holding down your torso, so I mean that's
you would think that
unless
you'd be
you're
fine.
too loose. If you have it too loose,
That is a kind of pressure that is probably not made for any kind of.
Didn't we push Goldfinger out the window in Goldfinger? He went out the window of the private jet on the way in the last scene.
And then he showed up in the next movie. Right?
that was Cold Finger.
Well, that's the rejected,
That's the rejected
name.
title. That's right, Cold Finger.
We need to get this information, John.
If only we knew somebody had an airport connection.
It has been a bad. This is the worst, obviously, but it's been bad 2 or 3 days for airlines. Wow, Southwest, Sun Country, and
that is
Allegiant.
that's a dreadful scenario. That is awful.
Sun Country, not Country. Southwest has had a bunch of problems lately.
Now I don't know where to sit.
Southwest actually had this happen with another plane, exact same thing, but nobody was injured.
Are you kidding me?
The window came out.
Are you kidding me?
A year ago or 2 years ago, same exact thing.
What about the real airlines, the ones I fly? Do they have problems like this?
The full price ones?
Yeah, I don't fly these sky buses.
Sky buses. Another story from the state of Georgia. Police there shared security camera footage of a GameStop store burglar who tried to conceal his face with an unusual disguise, a clear plastic wrapper.
Which didn't hide his crop duster mustache.
St. Mary's Police Department posted video to Facebook showing security camera footage from the burglary last Thursday. Video showed the male suspect wearing the plastic wrapper from a package of bottled water over his head, completely failing to hide his face with any plastic. Police are asking members of the public for help identifying what they called on their Facebook page this craftily disguised thief.
Johnny, I got a question for you that only a guy educated in Bismarck Mandan could answer.
Yes.
How did the Republic of Georgia and the state of Georgia end up with the same name? Does anyone know?
I have no idea. No clue whatsoever.
I would think it'd be some spinoff on George, but
Georgia is your that'd be your Eastern European version of George.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing: George is always on my mind.
It's an old sweet song.
All right, Kenny, this is nothing official, but depending upon how far away from the window you are, depends on whether you being buckled in would help you stay in your seat.
So you're saying if you're next to the window and you're buckled in,
there's a chance you could go out.
Oh my God!
I bet it couldn't lift my fat ass up.
Willing to risk it.
No, not that.
What if just your head got stuck out?
That would be bad.
I don't think my head would fit.
No.
I believe part of the thing that happened today, Joe, was that the woman's her head and part of her upper body were out the window.
Well, the passengers were holding on to her.
and they pulled her back in.
And the pressure might have killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doctors at a Chinese hospital said it took 2 surgeries to remove a lighter from the stomach of a man who swallowed it 20 years ago.
Joe, name that country. See, that's the game.
I got one of those.
There you
China.
go. Yeah, that's a good point. That would have been a perfect story for that. A video recorded at a hospital in Chengdu City, Sichuan province, using a camera inserted into the man's body to locate the plastic and metal lighter in his stomach. Man told doctors he had accidentally swallowed the lighter 20 years ago, but didn't seek medical attention until recently when he started having stomach aches and bloody stools.
Well, Fark had a great headline about this. You know, this guy was quite the hit at parties because he could light his farts from the inside.
Doctors said the initial
Watch this.
Watch this one.
I can't believe you actually said bloody stools on the air.
Oh, excuse me.
I saw that band once.
Doctors said an initial attempt to remove the lighter was unsuccessful, but a second surgery only took them 10 minutes, ended up with the device being successfully extracted.
I'm looking at the clock and I'm seeing it's a time that I make my exit from the scene here. But before I go, I just want to move the computer out of the way, step out into Joe Souchere's full view, and
Yeah.
Doff my hat.
What's the deal with that, Joe?
I got yelled
I didn't know he was wearing his hat.
I got yelled
Kenny
at.
wins! Kenny wins!
All day without
Take your damn hat off, you heathen.
I even asked him about 10 minutes ago, has Joe seen that hat? I had it on the whole segment. That was his reply.
Well, he just doffed
it again, yeah.
Doffed his cap. Well, you can't take the hayseed out of a guy from wherever he is.
I got it. Dan Myers is here, wild.com, and it's a very good time for us to have him. He found out about the Parise thing just about an hour ago, like everybody else. So.
That's a stunner. It'll give the boys a new sense of urgency.
Well, I would think they'd be pretty urgent anyway, but this is quite the blow because the guy was playing so dang well.
He has been playing well lately.
Sometimes when those wily vets miss a lot of time, they're fresh when the postseason starts, and I saw that in Parise. I thought
I did
he
too.
missed a lot of time, and it looked like he was really moving well. So that's quite the blow.
What else do you have in mind?
Well, we're going to have that, and then former Twins manager Tom Kelly at a little bit after 5 o'clock.
Did you hear that, Rook? Tom Kelly will be joining Patrick.
I don't know anything about that.
I know you do.
I don't know anything about that. You tell him I said hello, though.
Yeah, I will.
God,
I do
hope
know
they
my
get that.
limitations.
I hope they get that game in. I really do.
Yes, they have to get a game in.
They've
here.
played
You got
the
to play a
fewest
ball
games.
game here pretty
It's
soon.
just terrible. What's the temp, Rook?
Still 42 degrees.
That's not bad. We'll take 42.
Yeah, 42 isn't bad at all.
1500 ESPN is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis. The Ride with Royce is coming up next, and the latest news is that Parise suffered a broken sternum.